Why is this so important to you, Harry?
Drugs and niggers are a contamination to our great American civilization. John, listen to me. This jazz music is the devil's work. That's why this Holiday woman's got to be stopped. She keeps singing this strange fruit song, and it's causing a lot of people to think the wrong things. We've warned her to stop singing it, but she won't. We've got her husband in the bag, though she won't stop singing the song.
Hi everyone, I'm Dom Griffin, I'm a film critic, and you're watching the Armchair Auteur. This is an ongoing video series I do where we talk about new movies, old movies, screenplay analysis, that sort of thing. So if you like movies and film culture and you like to see somebody pick those things apart, please consider subscribing. Today I am reviewing The United States vs. Billie Holiday, the new biopic from director Lee Daniels starring Andra Day as Billie Holiday. This was recently acquired by Hulu and it's available to stream starting today or whenever you're watching this, it's already out. And this is a weird movie for me to be reviewing. That's because biopics in general are a very terrible form of movies, and I feel like biopics about musicians are like an even more ugly and terrible form within that larger form.
You're gonna have to give him a moment, son. Dewey Cox needs to think about his entire life before he plays.
The movie Walk Hard really exposed how ridiculous the formula is, and yet, every year, without fail, Hollywood continues to churn out movies that learned nothing from its lessons. Some of them even win big awards. But a biopic about an artist you're not already a diehard fan of, or whose story you're not super familiar with, ought to at least be easier to digest, because you can watch it without spending the whole runtime acutely aware of what is fabricated, what is being omitted, and what is being uncomfortably truncated to fit a feature-length runtime. Outside of appreciating her music and stature and history, I'm not a big enough Billie Holiday fan to deal with that particular barrier of entry. My sole source of knowledge on her life comes from Billie, the 2019 documentary about Holiday, directed by James Erskine, an imperfect but informative work. What intrigued me was the idea that Lee Daniels and screenwriter Suzanne Lori Parks, a famed playwright, were approaching this biopic the correct way. That is to say, it appeared they were aiming to minimize the film's focus to a specific chapter in Holiday's life. Specifically, the government's personal war against her for performing the then controversial song
Strange Fruit.
A dark and litigious arc that reflects the long sordid saga of America's war on drugs. But, no. Like, yeah, that was their aim, I think, but, this film is a miss. If it actually focused solely on her trial and how the government's constant harassment of her impacted her career, literally to the end of her days, it would have at least had the potential to be a stirring project, possessing a kinship with recent films exploring similar subject matter like Mangrove, Trial of the Chicago 7, and even Judas and the Black Messiah. But in this film, a 2-hour-plus movie that somehow feels like 3, the meat of her trial and sentencing take place halfway in.
Y'all set me up! Y'all folks set me up! George paid your ass all that money! Nigga, you go to jail!
And then only intermittently plays back into the proceedings, as a truly remarkable hodgepodge of untethered vignettes play out non-linearly. See, rather than making a clear scope for the project, something more manageable for this form factor, Park's script, that I can only assume was a pure cash grab given the disparity in quality from it and her previous work, lazily darts back and forth between 3 distinct movies. None of them any good. First, there's the aforementioned surface-level exploration of her tribulations with the corrupt legal system, typified by antagonists like federal agent Harry Anslinger, played by Garrett Hedlund, and undercover agent Jimmy Fletcher, played by Trevante Rhodes, a man hired to get into Billie's inner circle only to betray her. This entire subplot had the potential to make some incisive commentary on the lengths the oppressor will go to keep you subjugated, even co-opting your own people against you, but instead it dovetails into the second bad movie. An ongoing, on-again, off-again romance between Holiday and Fletcher, who develops a conscience after helping to send her to prison for no good fucking reason. It's exactly the kind of nauseating and tone-deaf story you'd expect in a Lee Daniels movie, but given this picture is going for the po-faced prestige route, we don't even get the usual luxury of enjoying his messy approach to melodrama, the pulpy quality of which I tend to love even when I don't like his work. The elements that ring the most false within this mixed-up tale of star-crossed lovers leads us to the third terrible movie within this movie, the lackluster and hollow exploitation of Billie Holiday's trauma. There's something so gauche in the approach to dramatizing Holiday's upbringing, her rape as a youth, and the way her difficult adolescence informed what some consider to be her masochism, both in her dealings with abusive men and her own heavy drug usage. But there's nothing within these scenes that unpacks her toxic relationships with men and substances in any meaningful way. I found the Billie doc I referenced earlier to be underwhelming because of how heavily it balances her life with that of the deceased biographer whose research the film is based upon. But at least that film was made with an earnest interest in trying to understand and sympathize with a popular figure who remains misrepresented to this day. This biopic, on the other hand, is too mixed up in crummy editing, unfocused writing, some hairstyling Tyler Perry might approve of, as well as blatant and hollow politics. The film's ending is meant to be profound, but it just devolves into a random procession of historical postscripts in search of a thesis. But as much as I've dogged on the film, it has a handful of strong visual moments, some really stellar work from the forever underrated Rob Morgan as Holiday's second shittier husband.
How about we ditch these snow bunnies and go get into some black shit?
And the only true reason to actually see this film, Andra Day's central performance. This is hands down the finest performance I've seen in an otherwise bad movie in ages, showing that even if no one else involved with the production seemed to give a shit about Billie Holiday, or could be arsed to honor her memory in the film exploiting her life, at least its star came to work every day plumbing unimaginable depths of her own soul to pick up all the slack. Billie Holiday deserved better, and so did Andra Day, and honestly, so do we. That is my take on the United States versus Billie Holiday. It is on Hulu if you have Hulu and want to watch it, but maybe watch the documentary instead. Or, I don't know, just like look up cool performances of Billie Holiday, read articles about her, find a book about her, a biography. Don't bother with this movie. It's not great. But if you do bother with this movie, you will at least be treated to Andra Day's very, very, very good performance that was nominated for a Golden Globe and in my opinion should probably be nominated for an Oscar. She's fantastic. It sucks that it happened in such a bad movie. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the little bell icon to get notifications when I put out new videos. And if you have anything to say about the film, or you want to tell me I'm wrong, or you like Billie Holiday or something, or anything you want to share, do that in the comments below. Happy to talk to you guys always. That's it for me. I hope you guys are being safe, being good to yourselves and each other, wearing your masks, all that stuff. I will see you in the next one. Bye.